Don't live one day 365 times. I don't want to wake up 10 or 20 years from now, look back and realize that I lived the same year over and over again. One of my biggest fears isn't getting older. It's looking back one day and realizing I can't tell the difference between this year and the last one. I think that's when life quietly becomes a routine instead of an adventure. For a long time, I didn't even realize I was doing exactly that. My life wasn't bad at all. In fact, I enjoyed my work, I had people I loved, and I had so many things to grateful for. But every day felt almost the same. I'd wake up, work, eat, check my phone, go to bed, and then repeat the same routine the next day. Before I knew it, another month had gone by, then another year. Nothing was wrong, but nothing really stood out either. That's when I realized something. Time doesn't automatically make our lives meaningful. Simply getting older doesn't mean we're truly living. We can spend an entire year being busy, crossing things off our to-do lists, and still feel like nothing really changed. I don't want my life to be measured only by how many birthdays I've had. I want to remember the experiences, the lessons I learned, the skills I picked up, and the little moments that made each year unique. And I also realized that if I wanted each year of my life to feel different, I couldn't just wait for something exciting to happen. I had to create those experiences myself. So, instead of making huge New Year's resolutions that I probably give up after a few weeks, I started creating what I call tiny projects. A tiny project is exactly what it sounds like. It's a small challenge or a new skill that I choose to focus on for a while. It doesn't have to change my life overnight, and it doesn't have to impress anyone. The only purpose is to help me grow a little and make this year different from the previous one. This year, one of my tiny projects is learning Chinese. For years, I kept telling myself maybe one day I'll learn it, but one day has a funny way of never arriving. There was always something more important to do, another project to finish, and another excuse to make. Then one day I asked myself, if not now, then when? I realized I could keep waiting for the perfect time, or I could simply begin, even if it was just 10 or 15 minutes a day. So I started. At first, it wasn't easy. I couldn't pronounce the words properly. I forgot vocabulary almost as soon as I learned it, and sometimes I wondered if I was making any progress at all. But little by little, things started to change. I could understand a few sentences in the video, and I could introduce myself and my family in Chinese. That's what makes me happy. Not because I'm fluent, but because I'm becoming someone who can do something that I couldn't do a year ago. Maybe one day I'll be able to travel to China and have real conversations with local people. Maybe I'll watch Chinese dramas without subtitles. I don't know exactly where this tiny project would take me, but I do know one thing. Years from now, when I look back on this chapter of my life, I don't think I'll remember every single word I learned, but I'll remember that this was the year I stopped letting maybe one day steal another year of my life. Another tiny project of mine is gardening. Before this year, I had never really grown anything. My dad is a farmer, but when it came to gardening, I was probably the laziest person in the family. I knew almost nothing about planting or take caring of vegetables. But this year, I decided to learn. I bought a few packets of seeds and started from the very beginning. Every day, I water them, check on them, and patiently wait for them to grow. And through this tiny project, I realized something that I think applies to every part of life. Growth is usually invisible. When you plant a seed, nothing happens the next day or even the next week. You look at the soil and wonder if anything is happening at all. But underneath the surface, the seed is quietly growing roots before anyone can see a single leaf. I think we're a lot like that. Sometimes we feel like we're not making any progress. We study every day, practice every day, work every day, but it feels like nothing is changing. We compare ourselves to other people and wonder why they grow faster than we are. But maybe not every kind of growth is visible. And maybe the most important changes are happening beneath the surface, long before anyone, including ourselves, can see them. I think our lives are like a book. Not every page has to be different. In fact, many pages look quite ordinary. We still wake up, go to work, cook dinner, do the laundry, and go to bed. That's just life. But I think every chapter should tell a story. Maybe one chapter is about learning a new language, another chapter is about building healthier habits, another is about learning how to slow down, becoming a better friend, discovering a new hobby, or simply becoming a kinder version of yourself. That's why I love these tiny projects so much. On their own, they seem small and ordinary, but over time they give each chapter of my life its own meaning. And when I look back years from now, I won't remember every single day, but I will remember the chapter when I learned Chinese, the chapter when I started gardening, and the chapter when I decided to become the kind of version who never stops growing. So now, whenever a new year begins, I ask myself one simple question. What's my tiny project this year? It doesn't have to be difficult. It doesn't have to make me successful. It just has to help me become someone slightly different from who I was a year ago. A year is just another chapter in the book of our lives. Whether it's the chapter worth remembering depends on the story we choose to write. So, if you ask me how to stop living one day 365 times, my answer is simple. Create a tiny project. Learn something you've always wanted to learn. Try something you've never tried before. Give yourself a reason to remember this year.